themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online, to the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful, to those who don't stop and those making all the stops, to the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Dunkin' to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
OnSideRadio.com knows gamers need a home.
Can you dig it?
That's why for the next 60 seconds,
Can you count, suckers?
here's your On-Side Radio E-Report with Kai Chen Chisholm.
The most popular game distributor on PC is now having a huge sale where you can find over 2,101 deals, including new deals each Monday. Of course, I'm talking about Steam. Steam is currently the biggest distributor of games on PC. Like the Xbox Marketplace and the PlayStation Store, it's where you can find your games, download, and play them directly on your console, or in this case, on your computer. These deals will be coming around every single Monday, and they'll be updating things, and you can find games such as Left 4 Dead, the Call of Duty franchise, and much more on ridiculous sales up to 80 to 90% off for some of your favorite games. Of course, like I said, all games will be updated and all deals will be updated every single Monday. This goes along with what Steam does every single year with their Steam winter and summer sales.
Stay in touch in the world of gaming with the On-Side Radio E-Report. It's time for Kai's Corner on OnSideRadio.com. To talk to Kai, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. To reach out on the text line, it's 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm on your home for sports talk, OnSideRadio.com.
Good morning. Here at beautiful Drive Pink Stadium, I am that man, Kai Chen Chisholm. It is a very fantastic day, and yesterday we got some, I would say, amazing news because we were ready for kind of like a joke last week, right? It was always like, okay, you know, this is like a joke, you know, yada, 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 this is that. But yesterday, we had Tim Tebow getting brought into the NFL. Potentially, it still has to go through. But because of that, obviously, we're going to talk about Tebow. We're going to talk about a bunch of things today. But it reminded me of a song of Tim Tebow that I found so many years ago. And it's a mockery, I guess, of Skip Bayless and ESPN from when he was there. And it's just, it's a long song, so I think it's only a snippet that I cut up. But it itself is a great song, so I want you to hear it as well.
Unleash Tim Tebow.
Let him go.
It's time.
Turn him loose.
Let him play.
I'm going to church Sunday.
Run, pass, option. I think that's my game.
I guarantee you that.
I'm no John Elway.
He's rewriting the book.
Week in and week out.
He's a unique
Football player.
That's what Tim Tebow's all about.
He's a gamer. He's a baller. Playmaker. Shot caller. He's a gamer. He's a baller. Playmaker. Shot caller. Unleash
Tim Tebow. Let him go.
It's time.
Turn him loose.
Let him play. Let him play.
On Sunday.
And all he does is win. All he does is win.
One more day, one more win.
All he does is win game.
To everyone hating Tim Tebow in the NFL, Skip Bayless said it himself. All the man does is win games. In college, in the NFL, disregard anything past that one throw to Demaryius Thomas that Demaryius Thomas really did all the work for and took it 80 yards to the house against Pittsburgh in the playoffs. Disregard that the next week, right after that, they got blown out of the water by the New England Patriots. That he can't throw a football. Disregard all of it. Because all Tim Tebow does is win NFL and college games. That's his bread and butter. He is, I guess you could say, Christ himself, the religious man himself. Tebow is back in the NFL, potentially. Of course, Ian Rappaport yesterday, after I believe he was the original one who reported it last week, saying that it appears like it's going to be a one-year deal for Tebow. They're not exactly, how sure it's going to be, if it's actually going to go through, but you're not going to report that unless it's a pretty almost close to done deal in that he will be a Jacksonville Jaguar. I have to be completely honest. I was stunned when that news came out that he worked out for the Jaguars last week. I was just like, okay, like this is just, Tebow's back in the news, whatever. Like, even my being a Gators fan, it didn't matter. It's whatever. Tebow's back in the news, yada yada, move on, right? But no, he's legitimately like, he's back. Tim Tebow's coming back, trying to be a tight end. I honestly, I don't get it from Urban Meyer, despite the point of potentially bringing in someone who's going to help his locker room culture. But at the same time, Urban Meyer has never done anything to help his locker room culture ever. I mean, yes, Tebow's going to help, and Tebow led, and I have another clip that we'll play in a little bit of like part of that speech that he had after they lost. I forget exactly what game it was. But yeah, he's going to be a leader. He's going to, be that guy. He's going to drive everything. But come on now. Like, in Gainesville, do we really have to go through, some of the things that happened in Gainesville? Like, some of the players that came out of Gainesville, some of the issues that came out of Gainesville. 81 himself that went on to go play for the New England Patriots, that was one of them. The Pounceys had their issues. Like, he's Ohio State. There was always issues. Then he comes into the Jaguars. He hires a strength coach from Iowa. And that was an issue. It makes no sense to me personally. Even as a Tim Tebow fan, even as, a Florida Gator through and through, no matter what, win, loss, whatever it is, I root for my team, no matter what, right? It doesn't make sense. All you saw with Tebow was when he was in the NFL, when he was in college. Dude cannot, I guess in the NFL it was more so of a thing. Can't throw the football. His throwing motion is just, it's not there. It doesn't really make any sense. But somehow, some way, in the fourth quarter, he turned into Christ himself. And he would just lead these comebacks. I remember one specifically. I was there when he was here in Miami, when he was a Denver Bronco quarterback. And Miami was winning the entire game. Tebow was having a horrible game. I was the only one in the crowd with a Tim Tebow jersey and a sea of UM fans. And Tebow leads the Broncos down the field and beats the Dolphins in the fourth quarter. For whatever it was, the truthful statement was he did win, but he could never throw. He had a horrible throwing motion, absolutely horrible throwing motion. And the issue that you always heard was, he doesn't want to work on this, he doesn't want to do this. It's like, yes, Tebow was a guy. Tebow was a leader. He did everything you wanted him to do. He was there for the locker room. But at the same time, you always heard the ego. You always heard, like, the inability to want to change something and be better because, hell, like, in that song, it's John Fox. It's John Fox, John Elway, and someone else. I think it might have been Chris Carter in that, like, cut up of that song, talking about how he's, like, rewriting the book. And I think that was John Fox in that one, where it's saying, he's doing things that right now in the NFL no one's seen in terms of being able to run the football efficiently and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, okay, that's great. But at the same time, he just can't throw. And he's dealing with these issues throwing. It's the same issues that guys right now like Cam, and Cam is a much better NFL quarterback than Tebow was. I'm not trying to do a one-on-one comparison here. But Cam's been dealing with those same issues as well, where Cam is, not like his, first of all, he can't throw the football right now. Hasn't been able to throw the football for a few years. Obviously, injuries and such, that's going to hurt you. But Cam was never the most accurate passer either. Not at Auburn, not in the NFL. So you still see, like, that's the same style, I guess, running, big body guy. But just Tebow could never throw the football. It was the most poor throwing motion that you could see. And he never wanted to change anything. He was always short on passes. He was never, he never threw it too deep. He always threw it too short, or it wasn't, exactly where it needed to be. And then somehow, some way, it literally is like the fourth quarter. All of a sudden, it truly is Tebow time. Something switches, and this dude is winning the game and making passes that you only see the great quarterbacks make. It never, ever made any sense. And the only thing that you could have ever possibly been with was like, listen, literally this is Christ himself on the field now, leading his team to victory, because that's all it was. He would make throws that he was missing all game. He would make throws that only the top NFL guys were making, but only in the fourth quarter, only in like the last 5 minutes of the game. It never, ever made any sense. So, look, he's back in the NFL, and that's cool. If Urban Meyer wants, a guy to be in that locker room, wants someone to win, and we have audio from this speech that Tebow had given a while ago, it's like if he wants this to happen, and we're going to play it for you here in a little bit, if he wants that type of thing, he wants that atmosphere, he wants someone to really be that guy, to be the main person, to kind of lead their locker room through, then okay. Like, yeah, Tebow's going to be that guy, but as we mentioned in the crosstalk with Toast, if you have him there, what, are you going to keep him out from now until August? That's the only time that you're going to have him? Why would it make any sense for you to have this guy come through and only have him for, 3 months? It's not going to make any sense to have him for that amount of time. You're going to have to probably carry him throughout the season because your locker room is not going to get solidified in 3 months. It's just not possible. So if you're just thinking that you're bringing him in possibly for, PR or for the locker room or something, then it's not going to be that easy. He's not just going to all of a sudden flip a switch and everything is fine like nothing ever happened. That's not how that's not how it goes. And the Jaguars have much, much, much more to complain about and to deal with than Tim Tebow, PR, and their locker room. Again, of all the people to have that locker room kind of thing and the spin that everyone's doing, Urban Meyer, really? Really? This is the person that we're going to say, yeah, for the locker room and yada, yada, yada. But we have this audio from a speech that Tim Tebow had, and it was like that long speech. It's like, I promise you I'm going to be the best college football player. No one's going to work harder than me. That whole speech that everyone has is like the greatest speech that Tim Tebow's ever had. And like that they're going to make it like that type of thing. It's like he's just going on and talking about how much like he's going to work harder than anyone else, how the Florida Gators aren't going to be let down, and all this other stuff. So we have that audio of the kind of last end snippet of it. And this is from when he was in the Florida Gators a while ago, when Tim Tebow had like that, pretty much, I guess, its famous speech.
To the fans and everybody in Gator Nation, I'm sorry. Extremely sorry. We were hoping for an undefeated season. That was my goal. Something Florida's never done here. But I promise you one thing. A lot of good will come out of this. You have never seen any player in the entire country play as hard as I will play the rest of the season, and you never see someone push the rest of the team as hard as I will push everybody the rest of the season, and you never see a team play harder than we will the rest of this season. God bless.
If that's what Urban Meyer wants, he's going to get all of it. And Omar Kelly right now is going on a little bit of a tweet spree, so I'll definitely ask him about this when he comes on in the second hour for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. But I think it's insane to me that this is what Urban Meyer and the Jaguars, like, yes, it makes sense. But at the same time, you have so much more to worry about. And I think people, I guess, targeting this and being like, oh, well, this is happening and it's a roster spot. You know how bad the Jaguars roster is? We're talking about roster spots. They don't even have a true tight end. They don't have someone that Trevor Lawrence is going to look at and be like, yeah, I can target you. Yeah, you got Trevor. That's going to be fantastic. Hopefully he's going to be a great NFL quarterback. That's what everyone thinks. You had a top 5 running back in the league as an undrafted free agent, and instead of giving him the ability to go out there and continue to, work on his craft and continue to be the starter, you say that you're drafting Travis Etienne in the first round at pick 25 to be a third down back. You're linking him up with his quarterback that he was with for so many years at Clemson, and he's going to be a third down back. Oh, yeah, it's going to be James Robinson and Carlos Hyde running the way, and Travis Etienne's going to be there. There's so many more pressing and filling needs that they could have done to bring him in as a third down back. Their defense, besides, I would say C.J. Henderson at corner, and even then, he was very good at the first half of the season, not that good in the second half of the season. Their defense is suspect as heck. It's ridiculous to me that people are caring about this rather than, Will Tebow be a great tight end? Who knows? We'll find out pretty soon if he does get signed. And if he's not a great tight end, it is what it is. You chalk those up and you move on. I like Tebow's 34 years old, 33 years old. Like it's ridiculous to me. Anyways, every Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m., catch Fight Night with Alex Donno and James Walker. It's a show dedicated to combat sports, from UFC to boxing to bare-knuckle brawling. Alex and James provide combat sports fans the insight and interviews they crave. Tune every Thursday night from 7 to 9 p.m. for Fight Night with Alex Donno and James Walker. Search and subscribe to the podcast by searching up Fight Night on the home for combat sports, OnsideRadio.com.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. And with daily specials, there is something for everyone. If you're up for a challenge, you should take their famous boot tour. Finish 30 boots of different varieties of German beer, and you'll receive half price on their beer for life. And you'll get to take home your own boot and Checkers Old Munchin t-shirt. They also have outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music, as well as carry-out, curbside pickup, and delivery. So, for the finest German food and beer, get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant, or call them for reservations at 954-785-7565. That's 954-785-7565. We'll see you at Zagat-rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
WLESPN, broadcasting from a largely empty building.
And we do sports.
It's just not local.
Shush, honey.
Why is the building empty?
Because whether it be budget cuts or stupid management, we've fired almost everybody.
Ooh, but we still have our job nice and local.
At least the building is.
We've got your sports.
South Florida's choice for sports talk. OnsideRadio.com. BYB Extreme Bare Knuckle Fighting Series presents BYB 5. Saturday, May 15th at the Fair Expo Center at Tamiami Park. Meet Dada 5000. See bare knuckle brawlers fight live in BYB's patented triangle ring. The Trigon. The smallest and most confrontational ring in combat sports. Early action includes slap fights as seen on YouTube. Buy your tickets now at BYBtickets.com for BYB 5. Saturday, May 15th. Doors open at 6 p.m. BYB is proudly sponsored by BMCHam.com. Your choice for gold and silver. BMCHam.com. Inter Miami fans, time to find out more about your favorite soccer team with OnsideRadio.com's IMCF Football Focus. Here's Austin Robillard.
Inter Miami weren't back to their winning ways just yet, but somebody who was back in form was Lewis Morgan, our right winger, who put on an inspired performance in the second half against Atlanta United. Lewis Morgan was back to his 2020 MVP ways, taking on defenders by himself and really changing the game with his effort and class on the ball. His goal in the 77th minute equalized the game at 1-1, and they were unfortunate not to get a second goal to end up winning the game, but all credit to Lewis Morgan, who was the man of the match in this performance against Atlanta United.
Keep up with the latest on La Rosa Negra by subscribing on most platforms. Search Onside Radio. Let's get back to Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
All right. Enough with the Tebow stuff. We'll get more into that later when we talk with Omar Kelly in the second hour. That'll be at 11:30. We're also going to have on Alana Tahauer here in the next segment. She'll come on from 5 Reasons Sports, and we'll talk about what Ira Winderman has dubbed the most important game in the last 33 years for the Miami Heat. Regular season, of course, I know. But, yes. And he tweeted that out on his own as well. So if you didn't listen to the show, you can also see he tweeted out on his Twitter that he said, there you go, the most important game. So in the regular season, of course. But we'll get into that and more Heat stuff as well with Alana Tahauer when we have her on in the next segment. In this segment, we evaluated the Miami Dolphins' offensive weapons yesterday, and now we want to evaluate the defensive backroom. So we're going to continue to go around and kind of evaluate how things are going for the Dolphins in their respective rooms of, position groups and everything like that, and try to see, what the Dolphins' strengths are, what their weaknesses are, how we can, look at them and really dive into it, right? So the current roster of guys that you'd expect to be on the team include Xavier Howard, Byron Jones, Nick Needham, Noah Igbenogany, Justin Coleman, and Jason McCourty. Those are the guys that you look at where you're like, okay, these guys are going to be the ones that we're relying on. And when you look at it, it's not a bad defensive backroom at all. I mean, Xavier Howard is definitely one of the best cornerbacks in the league, and I don't think it's arguable. Byron Jones, I guess you could argue that he's one of the best. Of course, people are mad that he doesn't get interceptions, but I don't really think that that's the only reason to play corner. So I guess it is what it is there. But I think there's times where Byron Jones completely wipes out a side of a field, and he can also go into the slot if he needs to, and he'll most likely do a lot more of that coming into this season with Bobby McCain being gone, unless some of the guys that we'll talk down the line can fill that role correctly and really be able to solidify that and let Byron and Xavier really stay on the boundary there. So I think you have two of the top corners. One you can argue. One I think is not arguable. He's one of the top corners in the league, in Xavier Howard. I've seen some people argue, oh, well, he gets torched sometimes. Every single corner. I mean, I guess the only one that I wouldn't say was had those really, really rough games is maybe Revis. Even sometimes Jalen Ramsey gets torched. It just happens. And Jalen Ramsey is probably, if not, I would say Jalen Ramsey is the best corner in the NFL. Without a doubt, in my mind. Of course, you can argue a bunch of other players. But for sure, that's who I look at. And I think, Revis is probably the only one where it was Revis Island. You put Revis somewhere and he's wiping out half the field. That's just what it was with him. So I guess he's the only one that you look at there. But Xavier Howard, Byron Jones, I think two of the top, you'd have to say at least 10 or 15 corners in the NFL. Then from there, you have, still some pretty good guys on your roster, but maybe not the best in the world, but still quality, I would like to say. Justin Coleman's a very quality, player to have, to play that nickel, to play that slot. I think Justin Coleman's done a pretty good job of that throughout his career, and now you're going to be asking him to continue to do that for the Dolphins. Of course, it's the reason why he got paid. That's the reason why he got paid, not by us, but by another team. And, by the Lions, excuse me. And that's why you get that money, because you can do it. So I think that's one of those situations where you look at it and this guy was good. And he could be good in the nickel. And it's going to challenge a guy like Nick Needham, who he's been really odd for Nick. In year one, they really had him playing on the boundary because obviously there wasn't much on the roster. Xavier Howard was injured a lot of the times. And Nick did a pretty good job. He really did. Then last year, sometimes he's on the boundaries. Most of the time he was in the slot. He started off pretty poor. And then ultimately, he started to really come on towards the end of the season and show his worth. So, again, you're assuming when healthy, your boundary is locked up with X and Byron. You're having guys like a Justin Coleman who's shown in the past that he can be very good at that position, covering the slot, being in that nickel role. And a guy like Nick Needham who showed last season towards the back half that he can do it as well. Probably not as consistent as Justin Coleman used to do it. But Nick Needham is still, I would say, ascending and trying to become very good at that position. Of course, you had Bobby McCain, who got released last week, who was really a nickel corner when he was at Memphis. He came into the NFL, and I would say he was a very good nickel. And then they transitioned him to safety. It was rough for a while. Now he's kind of been okay. The big thing I want to say for everyone that was like, oh, you know, Bobby McCain's this and this and this, if he was, Bobby McCain would be picked up by an NFL team already. And he has not been. So I just want to leave it at that. Then, of course, you have the new guy signed in Jason McCourty. I think this is just a veteran thing. I mean, who knows how much Jason's really going to play. Of course, he was a very good corner in his time. Of course, his brother, Devin, is a very good safety. So we'll see what you get out of Jason McCourty. I wonder how much you're really going to get out of him. And then the big question mark, I think, you know, of all of them, is Noah Igbenogany. Where does Noah fit in this team? And I guess it's not only where does Noah fit in the team, it's does he fit in the team? Like, at this point, it just seems like you drafted him in the first round, and you asked some of the best receivers that were coming out of this draft, some of the best receivers that came out of last year's draft. And there's quotes and there's audio where you hear them. They're getting asked, who was the best corner you faced in college? And Noah Igbenogany was the choice. Not Pat Surtain, not Asante Samuel Jr., not any of these guys. It was Noah Igbenogany. So you look at that and you're like, okay, there's some of the top receivers that are coming out of the NFL draft the past 2 years saying this. You're going to be expecting that coming into this season. Can he play the boundary? Yes. Will you try to put him in the nickel or the slot? Yes. But this is a huge year for Noah. He has to show that he can really do it. He has to show that he can play on an NFL level. He's one of the youngest players in the NFL last season. At like 20 years old and like barely 20 years old. And he's got a lot. Like, he's got a lot. But he has to put it all together. And it has to be sooner rather than later because he was a first-round pick. If he was a second-round pick, third-round pick, expectations for Noah would not be that high. I mean, hell, X was a second-round pick out of Baylor. Not that high expectations from him. And he's exceeded those. Nick Needham was an undrafted free agent. Exceeded those expectations. Out of all the guys on the roster right now, I don't even think Byron with his contract has that big expectations. I think Noah has the biggest ones. And he's got to step up. So the question is, right, what should we expect out of the defensive back room? Can they rise to being an elite defensive back room? Well, you have two of the top corners in the NFL when healthy. Of course, that's always the big kicker. As is with every single team in Miami, for whatever reason, there's some injury curse, whether it goes from the Marlins to the Panthers to the Dolphins to Inter Miami to the Heat. There's some injury curse. I think we need to do like Santeria or something and like get this out because this is getting ridiculous. Personally, what I think is going to happen is you're going to have, of course, X and Byron when healthy starting on the outside. That's just what it's going to be. I think that there's times where you'll probably ask Byron to come out and cover the slot. He did a very good job at that in Dallas. But for a majority of the time, I think Byron and X are going to be out there on the boundary. And Byron will try to eliminate people in the slot like he did in Dallas. The only thing that gets interesting there is if Noah really shows that he's improving, then maybe he goes out on the boundary. So maybe you have it be Noah X and then Byron in the slot. Or yeah. And then maybe, you know, where does that leave Nick? Where does that leave Justin Coleman, Jason McCourty? I think the biggest thing is you have 6 guys here. All 6 of them which could start. 2 of them that you look at where you're like, all right, we don't really know right now. So I guess you say 4 of them are really starters. The other 2 are unsure. It's still a really good defensive back room. It's headlined by X and Byron, but Nick has done a good job being an undrafted free agent and coming and fighting for his spot. And I think he's the biggest story where you looked at Nick Needham And you saw this dude was getting absolutely torched in preseason. I remember watching the first game that Josh Rosen played in preseason, the first one we had at home. And I remember I was like, I don't know right now who number 40 is, but he needs to get off the field. Why does he even have a jersey on his back? And Nick Needham has done a fantastic job as an undrafted free agent. I think he did a great job in 2019. Last year, he started off slow, and he came on strong towards the end. Jason McCourty is the one that's a little interesting. I think we're still looking out to see what happens kind of with the safeties and everything like that. But in terms of corners, I think they're set. And then we'll talk about safeties. I know it's still the defensive back room when you talk about safeties. But we'll talk about them more in depth because I think there are more issues with the safeties than are really being shown. And we'll have to really get into that. Saturdays from 1 to 3 p.m., baseball fans can go deep into the count with Alex Aguirre and Christian Chase. Catch the show that talks Marlins and all the big stories in the major leagues. Every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m., Seamheads have a new home. Listen to Deep Into the Count exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
Now streaming online. Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
When you want a perfectly straight smile without braces, you can count on MoodyAsDental.com. A stunning smile is within reach. Learn more about Invisalign. Find out why so many trust the Moody-Ass family. Dr. Moody-Ass is an inventor and has several patents on innovative surgical instruments that are used around the world. Experience a family environment and trust on a worldwide level. From implants to crowns to a beautiful Invisalign smile. Call 305-821-0231. That's 305-821-0231. Or go to the website at MoodyAsDental.com.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Miami Lakes location at 15462 Northwest 77th Court, located in the Ryan Oaks Plaza. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
WLESPN. We've got all your sports.
We're live and local.
If you wake up early enough.
You're so bad, honey.
Tune us in, as long as you're not under a bridge.
Or under any power line.
Ain't it awful? South Florida's choice for sports talk. OnsideRadio.com.
Hey, it's Toast, and when I got PGT custom windows and doors installed at my house last year from B&T Windows and Doors, I knew that I was protecting my house when it came to hurricanes. But I was also investing in my house. My value went up. My home insurance cost went down. Yeah, I can now get more for my house when I sell it because I have PGT custom windows and doors installed courtesy of my buddies at B&T Windows and Doors. Just another reason why you should upgrade your house today. Give them a call, 954-233-0126. That's 954-233-0126, B&T Windows and Doors.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
When you're looking to add that extra style and protection for your home or business, visit A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie or Sunrise, where plantation shutters are a major part of our business, and they look great in any home. We have them in white, stained colors, and wood tones. We can even motorize your shutters like the one in the OnsideRadio.com studio. A Shade Above Window Fashions, 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashions.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
The Florida Panthers will have home ice in the first
home ice in the first round of the NHL playoffs after a 4-0 win over the Tampa Bay Lightning. Chris Drieger picked up his third shutout of the season. Playoffs are up next for the Ice Cats. The Miami Marlins lose again 5-2 to the Arizona Diamondbacks. They're at it again tonight at 9:40. Pablo Lopez and Madison Bumgarner are the pitching matchup. The Heat are in at Boston once again tonight. The tip-off is at 7:30. The game will be on TNT. Inter Miami is back at it Wednesday night, taking on their roommates here at the Drive Pink Stadium, CF Montreal. Big O and Alex Dono get you started with the pregame at 6:30, and Chris Whittingham and Thomas Rungan and Fernando Fiore will call the game at 7:30. You're listening to South Florida's only locally owned sports talk station, OnSideRadio.com.
Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
All right, we're getting ready to have on Alana Tahauer from the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Alana, I have to make sure here. It is Tahauer, right? Because I want to continue to make sure I get it right here and not mess it up. Hello, Alana.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, hi. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. I want to make sure, Alana, again, it's Tahauer, right?
It is, correct.
Okay, perfect. I want to just make sure I keep hitting it right. Alana, so Ira Winderman came on here from the Sun Sentinel, as he does every single week, essentially. He was on the show before me, and he called tonight's game the biggest regular season game for the Miami Heat in the last 33 years. What are your thoughts on that?
You know, that might be pushing it a little bit. I will admit my memory is trash. If there's one thing to know about me, I have the world's worst memory. So I could be wrong here, but I will say it's at least top 5.
Okay, so you're still in the camp of, even if you have to go kind of way back, you're like, all right, this game is still extremely important no matter what, level it's at.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, this kind of is feeling like a Game 7, especially because, and listen, like I always say, a win's a win, but we almost fell to the Celtics last time. I mean, a 6-point win after we were up by, I think, it was upwards of probably 18 at one point. Did not feel good, so I think the pressure is definitely on.
Yeah, it's funny because yesterday, and I saw a lot from, yourself and others as well about that second half. And yesterday I asked Ariel, because he came on, and I was like, what do you make of the second half? And he said that he wasn't as concerned about it as other people were. I was a little shocked. I mean, they really almost threw away that game.
Yeah, I mean, good for him for staying cool, calm, and collected. I was jumping up and down and screaming at my TV just because it really felt like we kind of just took our foot off the gas. Michael and I actually talked about this on Feel the Heat, which a new episode actually dropped earlier today. But we were just kind of talking about the fact that we just got a little bit ahead of ourselves, I think. And by the time, that we came back, it was almost too late. So I'm just hoping the same thing doesn't happen tonight.
So what are you expecting tonight? I mean, it seems like they were kind of, and I was sitting here at the Inter Miami game, doing everything. So I wasn't really watching it, but I saw, tweets from you, tweets from Michael, tweets from others, and I was like, oh my God, the Heat are blowing them out. And by halftime, everything was fine. And then all of a sudden, like, I'm going on Twitter ready to tweet some stuff about how much the refs suck here. And then I just see slowly it's like this has become a must, this is a possession they need to score. And I was like, weren't the Heat just up 30? Do you think that because of that late run now it's going to affect them tonight? Or do you think it's going to kind of be that short-term memory loss? Like you said, it's the Game 7. You just got to get it done, win the game, pack it up, and go home.
Yeah, I think for better or worse, the inconsistency in this season has kind of taught this team to shake it off and move on. Because, if we were sitting here looking back at every single game that we might have not gone our way or almost didn't go our way, we would be, probably sitting last in the East at this point. So I think they're pretty good at kind of just moving forward. I will say, I think in order to defeat the Celtics, we need a good, well-rounded effort. And I have been preaching this for weeks on weeks now. But there's this narrative that's going around that, without Jimmy and Bam being extremely aggressive and kind of leading the team, we don't have a chance. And listen, that's true. They are our leaders. But if you look at kind of the spread out in terms of not only offensively, but, defensive effort, it really was a group effort in the win against the Celtics on Sunday. And I think that we need to keep that up in order to keep the momentum going. Obviously, with Jaylen Brown being out, I think that does give us an advantage, but I'm just hoping it doesn't kind of cause one of those instances where they think it's going to be easier than it really is.
One of those moments where, and we've seen it with the Heat multiple times, where you're playing down the competition instead of, elevating your game or still playing your game. And I think we've seen that a lot of times this season as well, right?
Yeah, and actually I think that's kind of been a recurring issue, not only this season, but over the years. I think that, it's weird. We play better against, really heavy competition. And that works out great in the playoffs. And I think that's why this team is more so known as kind of a playoff team than a regular season team. But at this point, we need to be playoff ready now, and we need to treat this as if it is the playoffs because it's so important for seeding.
So the only injury on the injury report thus far is Victor Oladipo. So he's still out. So you're expecting a fully healthy team today. You're getting a lot out of your bench. You're seeing a little bit more out of Tyler. Goran is having a resurgence now as well. And it seemed like for a while that both of those guys weren't going to be able to do much, especially Goran. And then, of course, Tyler's had his issues. How have you felt about the bench, having to come in and, contributing? Of course, Dwayne Dedmon's been one of those guys that's been coming in and contributing a lot. As you said, the win on Sunday was a total team win. Do you think they can continue to do this now that they're finally at least a little bit healthy?
Yeah, I think that has made a huge difference. Dedmon on paper may not look like a difference maker, but his energy has been unbelievable. Michael touched upon this a little bit just in terms of his willingness to do whatever it takes to, get that board or to box out. I think the chemistry that he's developed with the guys very early on is impressive as well. And, and I said this too, I'm not trying to rag on Precious Achiuwa. I think that he came in a very unfortunate time, between the shortened off season and, the lack of a G League. But to have someone back up Bam in the way that Dedmon has been incredible. Obviously, Goran has had his issues, but he's come back. He only had, I think, 9 points against the Celtics on Sunday, but he had 7 assists. So he's finding a way to contribute. And we can go on and on about, what Heat Twitter thinks about Tyler, but at the end of the day, I think he's going to step up when it matters, and he's looked pretty good since his return.
Do you think it's the haircut? I asked Ariel about this yesterday, his thoughts on the haircut, but do you think that's got to be it? He went from the nice one to a bad one, and all of a sudden now the play's gone up.
Okay, I'm going to give a very hot take here. I don't think it's that bad. I don't hate the haircut on him. I think it kind of fits his personality.
He looks like a teenage boy. Like it's like that dude from Toy Story. Can't remember his name.
I think on anyone else that would be super questionable, but I don't know what it is about him. I just feel like he is confident enough to pull off anything. So I don't hate the haircut. And listen, if that is the reason, then let's keep it forever.
Okay, and we're talking with Alana Tahauer. You can find her on Twitter. It's not spelled the way it sounds. It's Tachauer. Alana, another report that was kind of coming out, and this is from Woj. He had a quote that said that Duncan Robinson's most likely going to be a $20 million a year player.
Mm-hmm.
Are you paying Duncan $20 million a year?
This is a tough one because we had a conversation on Clutch Corner a few weeks ago about this, and I said that I think my limit was 16 or 17. But I will admit Duncan has been really stepping it up. Obviously, he's a three-point shooter, so we're going to expect that, and we're going to get that from him. But he's really been in his bag in all ways. Even defensively, he's really, really made a difference. I will call myself out here before Michael calls in and does that for me. I called him one-dimensional, and I said that he was a liability, if his shots weren't going in. Do I still think that his defense needs improvement? For sure, but I do think that he's grown a lot. I don't know. I don't think I'd be willing to give him more than 20, but right now I might be willing to go up a few notches.
So you're probably saying like at least maybe 18-ish. Because yesterday I was kind of in that, 18, 17 I think would be good, but at 20 just seemed like too much.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't go above 20. 18 would be my happy place, I think. I will say, though, he does seem like one of those guys who takes kind of the constructive criticism and takes that pressure and builds from it. So I do think he deserves props that way because the Duncan that started out, and the Duncan especially that was kind of, looming around trade deadline, is not the Duncan we're seeing today. And I think that deserves, there's something to be said about that.
Okay, and finally here, the Heat are right now sitting at 6. Of course, the whole story is you win tonight, and most likely you're avoiding the play-in game completely unless, you have a total, disruption and everything just burns down to the ground. You still have a chance to kind of possibly finish in either 4 or 5. Of course, Atlanta winning by 1 last night. The Knicks played tonight at 10. Do you think that they can get as high as 4 or 5, or do you think they're probably going to have to sit in that 6 range?
I honestly see us finishing 6th. I think that our schedule is tricky, and I think, with kind of all the effort that's being put into games like, these back-to-backs, but 2 in a row against the Celtics, I feel like there's going to be a loss at some point, just a scheduled one. I also think that the Hawks are kind of they have the easiest schedule, I think, moving forward. So I see us at 6. Do I think we can maybe crawl into 5th? Yeah, but I'd be fine at 6 as long as we avoid that play-in.
And I think it's at that point we're going to. I think the big thing would be if you split tonight, you win the game on Sunday, you lose tonight. I think that's when things become a little bit trickier. Of course, like you're hoping that maybe. I mean, when you look at the Knicks and what they have left, they play against the Lakers tonight. LeBron's apparently supposed to be back. The Spurs have been playing a little bit better. So, I mean, and then, they get the Celtics at the end of the season. So you're probably looking at that. And I would say that I would agree with you at 6 is kind of that sweet spot. Do you have any, score prediction or final thing for tonight's game?
I'm going to put it out there that we win by 10.
All right.
To manifest the best outcome I can.
You have to use the stars and make sure that we get everything to kind of come together and get the win there.
Exactly. I'm glad you're catching on.
Oh, yeah, especially. All right. Well, Alana, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Again, you can find her on Twitter at Alana, Tachauer. And you can find everything you need from the Feel the Heat podcast to tweets every single morning about some quotes, all this stuff with, the astrology and everything like that. But more importantly, her Heat takes are very good. So you want to follow her for that. Alana, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Always like talking to people from 5 Reasons, and with Alana, she always has great insight. Again, she has a podcast called Feel the Heat with one of my good friends, Michael Christian. If you want to go listen to that, you can find that on either of their Twitters. Every Saturday at 11 a.m., soccer fans can connect with Austin Roblard and Red Card Radio. From the Premiership to the MLS, catch up with your favorite team, including our very own Inter Miami CF. Listen to Red Card Radio every Saturday from 11 to 1 with Austin Roblard exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
When you're looking for curtains and blinds to create a space of your own, look no further than Bandalux. Bandalux can tailor your space to your needs. Create the atmosphere and ambiance you desire. We invite you to discover it at Bandalux.com. Explore our new solar control systems, range of sustainable fabrics, and energy-efficient solutions that can improve your well-being and quality of life. Witness Bandalux Beauty. Go to Bandalux.com or follow them on Instagram at Bandalux_official. For a personal experience, A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise is an official Bandalux partner.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. Inter Miami CF fans, join us at our new home this season for all away games as we broadcast live at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company, 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. Join Big O and Alex Dono for the live pregame, halftime, and postgame shows while we watch the games. Enjoy meticulously brewed beer on site, delicious artisanal pizzas, live music, and giveaways. So, the new home for all Inter Miami road games is at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at the Pompano City Mall, where they'll feature all the Inter Miami games. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and Facebook and Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing, and visit them at dangerousmindsbrewing.com. There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. Take their famous Boot Tour Challenge, and there's now outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant, or call them for reservations or pickup at 954-785-7565. So get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach to Zagat-rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant.
Now that it's springtime, it's only getting hotter here in South Florida. Make sure your AC in your home or business is running smoothly by investing in a preventative maintenance plan from M&S Air Conditioning. And M&S is a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite contractor. When you purchase a new Mitsubishi electric mini split system, you'll get a 12-year warranty. Or install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that captures and destroys biological contaminants to improve air quality. M&S Air Conditioning have been providing prompt, honest, and reliable service for over 30 years. Schedule service or call to get more info on our preventative maintenance plans. Call 954-421-3680 or visit ac-florida.com.
At OnsideRadio.com, we chirp all day and night. It's time to do some more chirping with David Dwork at our Chirping the Cats report.
The regular season may be over, but your Florida Panthers are far from finished. The Cats wrapped up their regular season schedule on Monday night when they took down the Tampa Bay Lightning by the score of 4-0. Goalie Chris Streeter made 30 saves while earning his third shutout of the season, and the Panthers got goals from Alex Wenberg, Mackenzie Weegar, Juho Lammikko, and Carter Verhaeghe, who was playing in his first game since early March. Florida now heads into the postseason riding a 6-game winning streak, with the last two coming against the Lightning by a combined score of 9-1. Now the Cats and Bolts will retreat to their home bases and prepare for their first-round playoff series. Thanks to their season-ending victories over Tampa, the Panthers earned home ice advantage in the postseason series, which means games 1 and 2 will be at the BB&T Center in Sunrise.
Keep up with the latest on the Florida Panthers by subscribing on most platforms by searching Onside Radio, your home for South Florida sports. Let's get back to Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
Rounding out hour number one on this beautiful Tuesday morning, May 11th, 2021. 4 days until my girlfriend's birthday. So, it is a great, great day. We've had a great, great show. It's beautiful outside. Everything is just so amazing today. It's been really, honestly, a very good 2 straight days here where we've had nothing really going wrong. Everything being great. This morning there was a little bit of traffic that was a little bit odd that I did not quite enjoy. And I have been sleeping really well, which has been also very interesting. I want to get into something different, but I've also been sleeping really well, which has been cool. It's been very interesting. I want to say, and Sean asked me too. Sean was like, "Kai, what's the deal? You stopping the polls? It's part of your show, man. Come on now." So I'm thinking of adjusting how the polls are. I'm not sure if I will go through with it or not, but the polls for the time being are on standby until tomorrow, most likely is when I'm going to bring them back. I I have two different things of where I'm thinking about going, either continuing them the way they are, or what I'm going to do is have it be where I have them post one a day, so 5 for the week, or I might do like 2, so like we have like 10 a week, something like that. Have them all under the same thread, and then have the ability to, so I could say Monday, I'm going to have that poll last until Friday, so if anyone comes on throughout the show and they see the poll and they want to have their voice heard, they can do that, and then have all of them pretty much end on Friday. So Mondays would end Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, everything like that. That's what I'm considering. We shall see if that really happens. You'll know by, I would say, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning when the polls go out. If it's 1 and or 2 polls, you know I've decided that. If it's 4, then you know I've decided that I'm going to stick to my guns with the multiple polls every single day. But I will say, you know, I've done it now for 2 months, which I realized the other day. Sean, you've been stuck with me now for 2 months. It was official on Saturday. I remember because I started on March 8th, I believe. Yeah, March 8th was my first day officially taking over for Ethan. So it's been 2 months. So since then, I've done pretty much like 4 polls every single day. Now it's getting a little difficult to think of good polls every day. I'm starting to run out of some content there. But hopefully things can get better now in the off season. We can get some better polls out there.
Yeah, there's places where you can go to learn about the polls.
Which ones? Like the political polls? Because you can go like PolitiFact, or just learn about the polls in general.
There's a few places you can go. I'll let you figure it out on your own.
Okay, yeah. I'm still a young lad, you know. Got a lot of thinking to do. But anyways, we're here. We're going to round out hour number 1. It's been, I want to shout out again to Alana Tahauer as she comes on. And she gives some great Miami Heat stuff as well. I really like, one of the things I love a lot about my connection with 5 Reasons, obviously working for 5 Reasons and Ethan and all of them, is I think I've met some people who are very fantastic at what they do. You know, Ariel Atias and Gadiel Cartagena, I think is his last name. They're fantastic. Alana's fantastic. Royal is, I mean, just one of the most entertaining people I've ever met. So being able to sit down and talk with them about the Heat and really about anything at all as well is great, because you still have that serious, you know, we got to talk about sports at the same time. They can have a little bit of fun. So love that. Shout out again to Alana for coming on. Tomorrow we will have our Royal Wednesday. We're also going to have a feature in from Austin. I believe Austin's going to be in studio tomorrow with me. I'm not completely sure yet, but so far I think that's what's planned. So we'll see. You're listening to the only locally owned sports station in South Florida, OnSideRadio.com.
When you're looking to add that extra style and protection for your home or business, visit A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie or Sunrise, where plantation shutters are a major part of our business, and they look great in any home. We have them in white, stained colors, and wood tones. We can even motorize your shutters like the one in the OnSideRadio.com studio. A Shade Above Window Fashions, 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashions.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse?
Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam! Ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Now that it's springtime, it's only getting hotter here in South Florida. Make sure your AC in your home or business is running smoothly by investing in a preventative maintenance plan from M&S Air Conditioning. And M&S is a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite contractor. When you purchase a new Mitsubishi electric mini split system, you'll get a 12-year warranty. Or install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that captures and destroys biological contaminants to improve air quality. M&S Air Conditioning have been providing prompt, honest, and reliable service for over 30 years. Schedule service or call to get more info on our preventative maintenance plans. Call 954-421-3680 or visit ac-florida.com.
Welcome to OnSideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. No station in South Florida provides more live and local sports talk.
This is like rock and roll with no music.
Follow us on social media at OnSide Radio.
Hey, it's Toast, and no doubt last year hurricane season was one of the craziest we've ever seen. Well, Noah's saying once again, going to be another active season, so you need to call B&T Windows and Doors today and get PGT custom windows and doors installed like I did so that you are fully protected. Listen, there's no better peace of mind than PGT custom windows and doors when you're in the cone of death for a Category 5 storm. Call B&T Windows and Doors today to get set up. 954-233-0126. That's 954-233-0126.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Duncan to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
OnSideRadio.com knows gamers need a home.
Can you dig it?
That's why for the next 60 seconds,
Can you count, suckers?
here's your On-Side Radio E-Report with Kai Chen Chisholm.
The most popular game distributor on PC is now having a huge sale where you can find over 2,101 deals, including new deals each Monday. Of course, I'm talking about Steam. Steam is currently the biggest distributor of games on PC, like the Xbox Marketplace and the PlayStation Store. It's where you can find your games, download, and play them directly on your console, or in this case, on your computer. These deals will be coming around every single Monday, and they'll be updating things, and you can find games such as Left 4 Dead, the Call of Duty franchise, and much more on ridiculous sales up to 80 to 90% off for some of your favorite games. Of course, like I said, all games will be updated and all deals will be updated every single Monday. This goes along with what Steam does every single year with their Steam winter and summer sales.
Stay in touch in the world of gaming with the On-Side Radio E-Report. It's time for Kai's Corner on OnSideRadio.com. To talk to Kai, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. To reach out on the text line, it's 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm on your home for sports talk, OnSideRadio.com.
Hour number 2 here at beautiful Drive Pink Stadium here at Onside Radio. I am that man, Kai Chen Chisholm. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Samurai Radio. That's at SAMURAII-RADIO. Wherever you are listening, make sure you come over on here. You can follow anywhere, obviously Podbean. You can follow on any other radio apps that we have. My favorite that works for me all the time is Simple Radio. Just, my bias there. And then, of course, on YouTube, if you want to come have a conversation on YouTube, especially if you're sitting here watching, send out some messages, have a conversation, come join this community that we've built. I mean, it has skyrocketed on YouTube very, very quickly from where we were, not even I would say a month and a half ago at 0, now to 533 subscribers. Make sure you hit the notification bell as well. Follow all the great shows here, and then just continue to have just a great time with us as we will try to give you the content that you need every single day, and hope to be a shining light in any part of your whatever environment you are in. But this is hour 2 of Kai's Corner. I do want to mention, because we're going to be getting into the NBA here, more specifically LeBron James, and talking about everything that he is talking about with the play-in game, and of course the Heat potentially getting into a play-in game. Very recently, Andrew Perloff, who works for the Dan Patrick Show, tweeted out something about Tim Tebow. And what he tweeted out was that he said, if you're mad Tim Tebow could take up a roster spot in Jacksonville, are you mad that Udonis Haslem takes up a roster spot with the Miami Heat? All I'm going to say is, Andrew Perloff, you know the internet, because you knew exactly what you were doing when you tweeted that out. And Twitter has been very rude with you. So, hey, big ups, because you know exactly how to work the internet. But we're going to be talking about more specifically LeBron James and the play-in game. Of course, everyone, I would feel has liked the play-in game. I think it's going to be great. I think it, from what it was last year, I think it was great competition. This year, I think it's going to be great competition. I think that the play-in game is awesome. I love it. Even if the Heat somehow end up in the play-in game, I'm not going to care. I think it's awesome. I love the idea of having the play-in game. I think it's great. Now, recently, LeBron James said, whoever came up with that blank needs to be fired. Of course, the Lakers this season are not as good as they were last season, and they've been dealing with multiple injuries to not only LeBron James, but Anthony Davis. And they're in the play-in game. Most likely going to finish in the play-in game. They're going to have to fight, possibly play against the Warriors to get into the playoffs. The Warriors with a Steph Curry who probably going to win MVP. I mean, he's been absolutely on fire. You probably think that maybe the Joker, like Nikola Jokic, deserves it more. But, I mean, Steph Curry has just been insane. So, he's saying, yeah, whoever came up with that needs to be fired. Well, it's really funny because LeBron James last year said this about the potential play-in game. You got Portland, you got Memphis, New Orleans and Sacramento tinkering around there. So if there's 5 or 10 games left, why not let those guys battle it out? Make them play each other all 5 games. So you could probably come to the conclusion that what LeBron was saying in all of that, right, was not maybe a 1-game scenario, but maybe you have them play a best of 5. First 1 to 3 wins gets there, and then you can have the potential to play into a bigger series. And if that's what LeBron's assuming, LeBron, you know how much and how long that's going to be? That doesn't just happen that easily. You do that, you're going to have a long, long season. And it's not fair to those 8 seeds and all those other guys coming in there. The 1 game, I think it's great. I mean, we love to see underdogs get their chance and possibly beat the best teams in the world. So I don't understand what the big issue is from LeBron. Why are you so, pressed about the situation? Last year, you loved the idea of the play-in game. Now, all of a sudden, your team is going to finish in a play-in game spot. You're going to have to probably play the Warriors, who have clinched a play-in spot. And they've just been, I mean, of course it's been Steph Curry. But they've just shown some class recently as well. That's the only reason why you have to be upset. That's the only reason why you have to be upset. Any other thing there makes no other sense for LeBron. It doesn't. And it comes down to, it's everything. And recently, it's a moment I had while I was talking to my father. And it was while we were watching the NBA Finals last year. And I remember that I texted him during one of the games. And I remember telling him, I never realized how much LeBron James complained until now. Watching it from the outside point of view, because, of course, wanting the Heat to win and everything like that, I could never... I just finally realized it then. Wow, all he does is complain. And he's great for the game of basketball. And I think I'm still a huge LeBron James guy. I think, of course, I probably have a more biased opinion in terms of greatest of all time, though I don't think that you should have greatest of all times. I think it could be by era. Obviously, I think, Michael Jordan is the greatest player in his era. I think LeBron James is the greatest player of his era. I don't think that, I don't want to go into all time because I don't think there can be a greatest of all time. I don't think you can compare, generations to generation and how the game was played in one time of basketball and how the game was played another time of basketball. I think the same thing with football. I don't think we've been in a passing league for so long now. I don't think that you can say that Brady is the best quarterback of all time. Is he the best quarterback of his era and winning? Even then, you might say there's a couple guys who might be better at quarterback, but not at winning, and maybe not in the mental thing, the mental aspect. But for sure, I think that LeBron is just one of the greatest players that we've ever seen play the game of basketball. But I never realized how much he complained. But it's come down to all of that, and it reminded me on a funnier note of things. I used to be on a very interesting meme side of Twitter before I started to really take other things seriously. And I had this meme group chat with 2 of my friends where we would just send, whether it was football related, sports related, whatever it was, So I bookmarked a bunch of them recently because I wanted to have them every now and then so I could like tweet them out randomly if they're funny and like are still, relevant and not like too on the edge of humor. And it reminded me that there's one I have that someone made of Shannon Sharp talking about LeBron James to Skip Bayless. And in this clip, they have him playing and they call him Pastor Sharp as they have like everything happening as if he is preaching to Skip Bayless about how good LeBron James is. And this is that audio.
But through all that turnover, through all that adversity, the one thing that's remained 1,000% for certain.
Here we go again.
Height 6'9",
Wow.
weight 250,
Yeah.
born to Gloria James in Akron, Ohio on December 30th, 1984. And that is the reason, no matter how spectacular Kyrie is, and he's been spectacular, as long as I got him, I fear nothing.
He was born in a manger.
No, don't worry about it. She held him up because she knew he was going to be special.
There's no room,
no
room at the end.
How many other people named named LeBron? I know a lot of Michaels. I know a lot of Irvings. I know Irving Robinson that grew up in my hometown. I know a lot of Kyries. I know a lot of people named Larry. How many LeBrons you know? How many, Skip?
If there's anything I've ever agreed with Shannon more than anything, it's like at the end of the day, with all of his comments, with all this stuff, there's not another LeBron. Like, it's just not possible. So even when he's being annoying, even when you look at him going against his word, there's not another LeBron. He is one of the best players that we've ever seen play the game of basketball. And holy crap, I just saw the replay of some shot from Steph Curry behind on the screen there. Wow. Anyways, it took me completely off track. He's one of the best players that we've ever seen play the game of basketball. I mean, by far is one of the best players that we've ever seen. One of the best of like this era of basketball. And the same thing is like LeBron, you know how hard, like everyone can, wants to go at him with the finals and his finals record. You know how hard it is to go to the finals every single year for almost a decade? To win the finals with 3 different franchises? I mean, hell, LeBron left Cleveland to learn how to win in Miami with D. Wade and Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley. 1-2. Then went on to go back to Cleveland, go to 2 straight finals again, then make a third, win the second one, and the first one, you could argue if he had Kyrie or Kevin Love in that, he probably would have beat the Warriors. And he came back from a 3-1 lead to win the second one. And that was the first one that he had with the Cavs. Then he comes out there last year, and probably one of the hardest things you do as well, away from your family, in a bubble environment, goes out there and wins another one. I know Heat fans are going to get upset with that. But this is one of the best players that we've ever seen play. I understand he is annoying. He complains like hell, and it bothers me as well. But my God, he's one of the best. He just is one of the best. Is he a complete hypocrite from what he's saying about the playing game? 1,000%. It's not even debatable. Again, his comment was, and I quote, "You got Portland, you got Memphis, New Orleans, and Sacramento tinkering around there. So if there's 5 or 10 games, why not let those guys battle it out? Make them play each other all 5 games." And comes back and says, whoever came up with that bleep needs to be fired. Is he one of the biggest hypocrites right now? 100%. Is it because his team is going to end up playing in a playing game? Obviously. Read the tea leaves. You can see it perfectly there. If he was sitting at 5 or 4, I wouldn't be making any comments about the playing game. Why would he? If they were going to finish the 6 and above, no reason to talk about the playing game. He'd be sitting there while the playing games are going on at home, tweeting about how great they are. Come on. Like, yes, we all know what he's doing is stupid. And that what he's saying is a hypocrite of himself. But it's LeBron James. You should expect that now. Out of 18 years, 17 years that he's been in the NBA? Come on now. It's ridiculous to me. It is absolutely ridiculous to me. I want to ask Tim, what are you because I don't know if I know Sean's stance, but I feel like Are you in terms of just the player himself, a pro LeBron guy or an anti-LeBron guy?
He grew on me after a while.
Oh, okay.
At first, I was, kind of like, hey, he's a team jumper, but at the end of the day, he's just going for whatever goals that he's got, and he is who he is. Part of his personality.
So you've just kind of been like in that same boat. I guess that I'm kind of in now, where it's like you have to accept him for what he is. It's like it's at this point,
Exactly. I mean, he's one of the greats, so you just got to take everything,
Sean, what about you? I'm not sure. Are you a pro? I don't know if we ever even broached this topic. Are you a pro or anti?
I have never disagreed with Tim more.
Oh, really?
LeBron is the biggest crybaby I've ever seen in my life.
And I've realized that recently. Like I said, I remember because my dad said that all the time to me, and I'm like,
I never would have said this when he was here. I'm just telling you now how I feel. I mean, he is the biggest crybaby I've ever seen. I don't care. Look, just because you're the best at something doesn't mean you get to cry over everything.
Right.
You can't sit there and just be like, oh, well, it's good this year because I'm not in it. But now when I might be in it, it's the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah.
That's all he does.
All he does.
Not all he does, but in basketball terms, yes.
Yeah. It's consistent. And again, my father is one of the always, and I just saw it popped up on my phone that he texted me. So I'm sure he has something to say about this because I know he doesn't like Tebow. He hates LeBron. And LeBron, it's true. Like I remember telling him, I could not realize how much of a crybaby he was up until this last finals, where it seemed like everything he was complaining, and I was getting so tired of it. And that's exactly what this is with the play-in. His team's going to be in it now, and now he's crying about it. But anyways, we will have Omar Kelly on at 11:30. We'll talk to him about the Dolphins. Coming up next, we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers, so stick around for that. Inter Miami CF fans, join us for every road game as we broadcast live from Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano. Join Big O and Alex Dono and enjoy the delicious foods and incredible house drafts, plus some giveaways. Inter Miami CF fans, your new home for every road game is Dangerous Minds Brewing Company in Pompano. Again, that's 1901 North Federal Highway. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and on Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. And with daily specials, there is something for everyone. If you're up for a challenge, you should take their famous boot tour. Finish 30 boots of different varieties of German beer, and you'll receive half price on their beer for life. And you'll get to take home your own boot and Checkers Old Munchin t-shirt. They also have outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music, as well as carry-out, curbside pickup, and delivery. So, for the finest German food and beer, get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant, or call them for reservations at 954-785-7565. That's 954-785-7565. We'll see you at Zagat-rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
WLESPN, broadcasting from a largely empty building.
And we do sports. It's just not local.
Shush, honey.
Why is the building empty?
Because whether it be budget cuts or stupid management, we fired almost everybody.
Ooh, but we still have our job live and local.
At least the building is.
We've got your sports.
South Florida's choice for sports talk. OnSideRadio.com. BYB Extreme Bare Knuckle Fighting Series presents BYP5. Saturday, May 15th at the Fair Expo Center at Tamiami Park. Meet Dada 5000. See bare knuckle brawlers fight live in BYB's patented triangle ring. The Trigon. The smallest and most confrontational ring in combat sports. Early action includes slap fights as seen on YouTube. Buy your tickets now at BYBtickets.com for BYB5. Saturday, May 15th. Doors open at 6 p.m. BYB is proudly sponsored by BMCHam.com. Your choice for gold and silver. BMCHam.com. Inter Miami fans, time to find out more about your favorite soccer team with OnsideRadio.com's IMCF Football Focus. Here's Austin Robillard.
Inter Miami weren't back to their winning ways just yet, but somebody who was back in form was Lewis Morgan, our right winger, who put on an inspired performance in the second half against Atlanta United. Lewis Morgan was back to his 2020 MVP ways, taking on defenders by himself and really changing the game with his effort and class on the ball. His goal in the 77th minute equalized the game at 1-1, and they were unfortunate not to get a second goal to end up winning the game, but all credit to Lewis Morgan, who was the man of the match in this performance against Atlanta United.
Keep up with the latest on La Rosa Negra by subscribing on most platforms. Search Onside Radio. Let's get back to Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
ESPN is still talking about Tim Tebow. Get over it. My God. And now they're talking about the same thing, the Tebow versus Kaepernick. Like, oh my God. I hate it. I hate the mouse, dude. They're so annoying. They're so annoying. The mouse, God, I hate the mouse. Anyways, the mothership, the mouse. What are the other ones you call ESPN? There's just so many that you can. There's so much you can say. Another thing, I guess I'm about to be a hypocrite like LeBron and like ESPN because I'm about to talk about Aaron Rodgers, and we talked about him last week. I think the big thing now with Aaron Rodgers, I'm being looked at by Sean. Uh-oh. What happened now? What did I do? So we're going to make sure that we do that. With Aaron, the quick thing that I wanted to talk about, of course, we're going to have on Omar Kelly next. So we'll talk to him about a lot of stuff. And maybe we'll talk to him about Aaron as well. And maybe we'll see kind of what he thinks. I do want to ask him about Tebow because he went on a little bit of a tweeting spree this morning. So I do want to ask Omar about Tebow. It's going to be, it's going to be so interesting talking to Omar about all this stuff recently. Especially when the Dolphins news is going to come slow. It'll be super interesting to talk to him about anything that's coming through. And maybe I'll talk to him about a couple other things. But it's always fun talking with Omar. With the Aaron stuff, the quick thing I want to touch on, we want to do this and I want to cover the roundtable as well, is that we need to make sure with this Aaron stuff, it's like, yes, did they offer him a new contract? Probably. That's what's being reported. I'm sure that they did offer him a new contract. But they don't think Jordan Love can do this. They don't think anything can go that way. Why did you do any of this in the first place? Like, the only person that the Packers have to blame is the Packers themselves. All this stuff that's been coming out now, it's your fault. I mean, the report, and Adam Schefter said this. I wish I clipped the sound yesterday, but I wasn't too sure if I was going to talk about Aaron Rodgers. I should have done it just in case. Adam Schefter said last week, or it might have been Monday. No, I think it was last Friday. It was last Friday. On the Dan Patrick Show, he went on. And he said himself that the report about Aaron Rodgers that he released, that it wasn't Aaron that gave him the information, it wasn't the Packers that gave him the information. He said that over the stuff that he heard throughout the offseason, he was able to put enough information together to get an article out. So everyone that was going after Aaron, oh, you did this, everyone that was going after the Packers, like myself, I was going after the Packers. That was all Adam Schefter. None of that was Aaron. None of it was the Packers. It's so ridiculous to me. It's so ridiculous to me. I didn't want to go much into it. I would have gone on a whole other soliloquy as well about other random stuff. But Tuesday's roundtable that we have here, And shout out to Sean especially for reminding me because I really would have forgotten. Who do you have? And it's because the Panthers are included in this. That's the only reason. If it was anything else, no shot I would have forgot. Who do you have more faith in making a deeper playoff run and why? The Panthers or the Heat? The simple answer is the Panthers. I don't really trust the Heat. Like, yeah, I want to be happy. The Heat are, going to be in the playoffs, whether it's the play-in game, which I doubt at this point they'll get into, or if it's just a playoff series. I don't really think that they're going to make a deep playoff run. I think the Panthers, and shout out to David Dwork, of course, he hosts Chirping the Cat Radio every single Saturday here. You can listen to all your hockey talk there with him. And I guess I feel like I'm the only person that doesn't really talk about hockey here because I'm still trying to semi-like it. But now I guess I have no choice but to like it. But the Panthers, from my knowledge of listening to David Dwork, is that they're one of the best teams. And they've clinched the playoff spot. I believe they've clinched home ice, right, is what it would be called, not home court, like home ice advantage or whatever that would be listed at. But they're a great team, and they've been shocking and surprising everyone all season. I have a lot of faith in them going far. And again, out of everything I've heard from David, out of the games that I watched, earlier on in the season, they look like they're going to be a complete team, and they look like they're ready. They've had a couple wins, and hockey, I think I've learned a little bit more now down the line, is a little bit different, of course, than soccer and all these other sports, because I tell the story, and it's true, when I first started watching a little more hockey to try to get into it a little bit more, it's semi-failed, but I'm still semi-interested. Shout out to Kylie because she's the one that was trying to get me into it. It's completely different. You can go down from 0-2 to 3, winning 3-2 in a mere minutes. And I think that the game is very interesting, and this Florida Panthers team has been doing a fantastic job all season. So do I have more faith in the Heat or the Panthers right now? With just off of the games that I've watched when I have the chance and, listening to David when he talks about it, I think for sure, the Panthers are going to have the better playoff run. I just think the Heat right now this season, I think they'll make the playoffs. Maybe they'll get into one round, and they'll get into the second round, but that's about it. I don't think that they'll get any farther than that. And that's all I have to say there. If you want a lot more Panthers talk, again, I very much, David does a fantastic job. English does a fantastic job with his show every single Saturday when he hosts Chirping the Cats Radio here every Saturday from 10 to 11. And you'll be able to get everything out of him. I mean, the only reason why, and I guess before, and it was really with David as well, because I was listening, when I would talk to Kylie about hockey to try to understand a little bit more. I remember we had David Dwork on one of the times when we filled in for Ethan, and we were talking with David a lot. And I was like, you know what? I'm interested in this. And so whenever I do have the chance, or it's a Saturday morning and I'm up early and I'm driving somewhere or something like that, I'll, get on YouTube and because I prefer that. Even if I'm driving, I don't know, I prefer YouTube because sometimes it has better connection than the other apps or whatever. But I'll just, put it on YouTube, throw it on the side and listen. And I'll listen to him. I'll listen to Sean, whatever I can really listen to, whether it's, wrestling stuff or whether it's hockey. But David does a fantastic job, so I would listen to him and get your fix through that. But coming up next, we're going to have on Omar Kelly. We're going to talk to him about the Miami Dolphins. I want to ask him about Tebow because he did make some tweets about it. Like I said, he went on a little bit of a tweeting spree today, so I do want to talk to Omar about that. That's part of our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Every single week, you can keep up with the Dolphins with Omar Kelly when he joins us with exclusive reports and when news breaks. Again, that's the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report on the home for Dolphins fans everywhere, OnSideRadio.com.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
When you want a perfectly straight smile without braces, you can count on MoodyAsDental.com. A stunning smile is within reach. Learn more about Invisalign. Find out why so many trust the Moody Ass family. Dr. Moody Ass is an inventor and has several patents on innovative surgical instruments that are used around the world. Experience a family environment and trust on a worldwide level. From implants to crowns to a beautiful Invisalign smile. Call 305-821-0231. That's 305-821-0231. Or go to the website at MoodyAsDental.com.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Miami Lakes location at 15462 Northwest 77th Court, located in the Ryan Oaks Plaza. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available, from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
WLESPN. We've got all your sports.
We're live and local.
If you wake up early enough.
You're so bad, honey.
Tune us in, as long as you're not under a bridge.
Or under any power line.
Ain't it awful? South Florida's choice for sports talk. OnSideRadio.com.
Hey, it's Toast. Last year when I had PGT custom windows and doors installed in my house by B&T Windows and Doors, I knew about the hurricane protection. What I didn't know? The silence. Oh my goodness, my house is so quiet now. One of those cars goes tearing down the street with the crazy loud muffler. Yeah, I don't hear it anymore. It's unbelievable. I didn't realize how noisy my house was beforehand. You've got to get PGT custom windows and doors installed in your pad today. Call B&T Windows and Doors, 954-233-0126. That's 954-233-0126.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
When you're looking to add that extra style and protection for your home or business, visit A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie or Sunrise, where plantation shutters are a major part of our business, and they look great in any home. We have them in white, stained colors, and wood tones. We can even motorize your shutters like the one in the OnSideRadio.com studio. A Shade Above Window Fashions, 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashions.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnSideRadio.com sports update.
The Florida Panthers will have home ice in the first round of the NHL playoffs after a 4-0 win over the Tampa Bay Lightning. Chris Driedger picked up his 3rd shutout of the season. Playoffs are up next for the Ice Cats. The Miami Marlins lose again 5-2 to the Arizona Diamondbacks this time. They are at it again tonight, 9:40. Pablo Lopez and Madison Bumgarner are the pitching matchup. The Miami Heat are in Boston once again tonight. Tip-off, 7:30. It'll be on TNT. Inter Miami is back at it Wednesday night, taking their roommates at their Drive Pink Stadium, CF Montreal. Big O and Alex Dano get you started with a pregame at 6:30 with Chris Whittingham, Thomas Rungan, and Fernando Fiore, with the call of the game at 7:30. You're listening to South Florida's only locally owned sports talk station, OnSideRadio.com.
Yourself. You might not hear what you want. You can always expect Omar to keep it real, whether you like it or not. It's time for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Sun Sentinel writer Omar Kelly. EJD is your one-stop shop, custom home builder, and general contractor for residential construction. Call them 305-433-4843. Find them on Facebook at EJD Construction. Here's Omar Kelly with your Miami Dolphins report segment.
All right, you heard it right there. The EZDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. We're getting ready to have on Omar Kelly. Of course, you can find him on Twitter at Omar Kelly. Keep up to date with him and all the stuff he writes for the Sun Sentinel. Omar, good morning, man. How are you?
I'm excellent. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing fantastic. How was, Mother's Day? How was all of that, that celebration, this past weekend?
Good. Overall good. My wife's first Mother's Day as a mother. We had everybody, including mother-in-laws and my mother, over for a meal that I cooked, was out on the grill, and it rained on me while I was grilling. I'm not a gas griller, so everybody knows the challenges of those who know real barbecue, which is coal barbecue.
Right.
When it's raining and it's moist and, it's not dry outside. So that was not fun, but I made it through. I survived.
That's great. So she was able to have a great Mother's Day as well, in that first Mother's Day and everything. Probably you taking a lot of stuff as well, kind of giving her maybe a little bit of a break.
What's funny? I do everything anyway. So her existence is just breastfeeding. So I just do what I normally do.
Okay. Well, there's some stuff that's been coming out in the NFL, and this morning you've been on a little bit of a tweet spree with some people, especially when you brought in the Udonis Haslem stuff. But Tim Tebow is close to being back on the NFL roster. Of course, Rappaport saying that it's pretty much going to happen, but things just need to get sorted out. What are your overall feelings on everything with Tebow?
It makes a lot of sense. People have to understand, I've been part of, 4 or 5 regimes coming in and wanting to lay their culture, and everybody brings their guys in. Every organization that I've ever been part of, they bring their guys in, guys who know how they are, guys who know their culture, guys who know how they want players to act on and off the field, guys who are going to be their snitches. And Tebow fits the mold. I mean, who put an image in your mind of who an Urban Meyer player is, and Tebow. Wouldn't that person be Tim Tebow?
Yeah, it's without a doubt him.
So why would he not use one of his 53 roster spots? Hell, Tim Tebow could even go on the practice squad with the new practice squad rules. Why would he not want Tim Tebow, even though he's 33 years old and has never played tight end full time? Why would Urban Meyer not want Tim Tebow on his roster? And I made the comparison. I don't know why Heat fans got all in their feelings. Like, I love UD just as much as the next guy, but let's not act like UD actually contributes on the basketball field. Like he's valuable and he's part of the culture and he instills the culture and he serves as a mentor and the Heat have said that we're going to use one of our 15 roster spots for the last 5 years to have him on the team, even though he's not really contributing as a player. And why wouldn't Urban Meyer do the same thing? I don't understand that.
Do you think that maybe it's just because of how polarizing Tebow is? And how much he failed at quarterback in the NFL.
How poor what is Tebow is?
Like polarizing in terms of who he is. Wherever he goes and whatever he does. Even with baseball, it was the second that he's playing minor league baseball, everyone's clipping it, and you never see minor league baseball clipped. Do you think it's just because it's Tim Tebow? If it was anyone else that Urban had there.
I think after this 10 years of people realizing Tebow's not Jesus, the second coming of Jesus.
In the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter.
I think we should have calmed down a little bit on the Tim Tebow infatuation. But I'm not even a big Tebow fan. I thought he was a horrible quarterback. But if you told me, he's going to change to a tight end, I'd be like, okay, sign him. And that's not just for the Dolphins, for Jacksonville. For the Dolphins too, you never know. Tim Tebow, who's going to work harder than Tim Tebow? The legend of Tim Tebow still lives. He's a hard worker. He does whatever he needs to do for the team. Do we have to hear his fourth quarter or halftime speech with the Florida Gators? He personifies everything you want. Tim Tebow's not going to go away. Tim Tebow's eventually going to become a coach or going to be on our TV. Tim Tebow is part of life. Embrace it, people. This is just going to add to the legacy of Tim Tebow.
I saw that you mentioned Nick O'Leary there as well through your Twitter, because O'Leary, he was here with the Dolphins. Of course, he played at FSU. And, there were times where Nick O'Leary, had a couple catches and some things that kind of worked out there. Where do you see kind of that, like in terms of like bringing Nick O'Leary into the conversation?
Because I was saying he's on par. Tim Tebow is on par with Nick O'Leary in terms of athleticism, what he can contribute to the team. Like, he's clearly an H-back type, not necessarily a full inline fullback. People have to understand there's like, one, tight end is a very difficult position to learn, which is why not a lot of rookie tight ends contribute right away because, as I've learned, they have to learn the pass protection standpoint. They have to learn the route running standpoint like receivers. Then they have to learn the run blocking aspect of it like offensive linemen. Those are all three different, very challenging elements. And more than likely, a rookie might get one, maybe two, not all three. Okay, so put that to the side. Then we got the fact that, teams carry 3 tight ends, 3 if not 4 tight ends. And then practice squad rules allow you to carry, 5 if you want. So why can't Tim Tebow, even though he's 33, be on that team, be a contributor? People act like he hasn't been playing professional baseball for like the last 5 seasons or 4 seasons. Like he's going to be in decent shape. He's going to have a whole training camp. We're not saying that he's playing quarterback. We're saying he's playing tight end, a new position. I remember Logan, I forget what his name is. Logan Thomas. Yeah. Oh, and Logan Thomas, Dolphins had Logan Thomas here for a year and was transitioning him to tight end. And then he went on and he played for Buffalo, and then he went on and he played in Washington. It took him a minute. A former quarterback at Virginia Tech, good athlete, took him a minute to make that transition. Now he's a starting tight end with the Washington football team. Like, these things happen. Like, Dolphins had another one. I forget what his name was. African-American quarterback. He had dreads. I can find it for you on my former roster. Give me 1 second. And it wasn't a big deal that he was here. Damn, why can't I find who he was?
Marquise Gray?
Yeah, Marquise Gray.
Yeah, that's all I was thinking of.
Quarterback to tight end transition is normal. This is normal. And Tim Tebow was a great athlete, wasn't he?
Yeah, for
sure. Why would he not
question why he wouldn't do it earlier?
Well, he wanted to go through TV, but the bug of being a professional athlete has never left him, as it usually doesn't leave a lot of these players. And if he's not, that's the only thing I could say about Jacksonville. If they sign him now, they're not going to release him, so he's going to be on their roster. So, you're making that commitment, like, okay, because you can't cut Tim Tebow, you can't cut him in Jacksonville unless he's just absolutely horrible. You're not going to cut him, so. There's no shame in investing in a 33-year-old quarterback converted to tight end. You never know what it's going to become. Like, Tim Tebow's a legend. Tim Tebow is like, there was like people called him Baby Jesus like a decade ago. Why would you not want to invest in Tim Tebow?
Right. Okay. So to get off of Tebow and get into some Dolphin stuff, I do want to ask. They signed Jason McCourty to a deal. Now your defensive, or at least your corners that you're looking at, that are guys that you're expecting to, at least contribute, is, Xavier
Are you
Howard.
sure he's a corner?
That's the other thing. He could end up playing, safety.
Yeah.
But in terms of the guys that you're expecting to come on and possibly contribute,
I don't see him as a corner because if that's the case, then he's a progress stopper.
Right.
Like you got Noah, you got Nick, you got Jason Coleman, Justin Coleman. As a cornerback, he's a progress stopper. If you're the issue when you waive Bobby McCain, to me, it wasn't about Bobby McCain's playing ability. It was about, okay, who's going to serve as the captain, the leader, and the mentor of this secondary? Because It's not going to be Xavier, and maybe it'll be Byron Jones, but that's a new role for him. So you needed somebody to serve as a sort of extension of a coach. That used to be Bobby, then Bobby left, and now what? Now who is it? So it's Jason McCourty. So to me, he's going to kind of serve as a hybrid safety cornerback, sort of like a Eric Rowe, maybe the backup to Eric Rowe. Maybe he plays the starting spot, and Javon Holland plays what's interesting is they generally give rookies a small dose of things to do, and once they master that, they expand their roles. So when they cut Bobby McCain, I was a little shocked because that basically means, hey, Javon Holland, that starting job is yours. And I didn't know if the rookie was going to be ready for that. Nobody knows if the rookie is going to be ready for that. But when they added Jason McCourty, I instantly kind of got the feeling that he's going to be playing safety.
So you think he'll also be able to help, Javon Holland and like a Brandon Jones and stuff like that, as well as just kind of, like you said, being that guy for the defense. I mean, you released Bobby McCain, who's, essentially, like you said, that other coach on the field. You had that in Kyle Van Noy as well last season with, the linebackers. So you're expecting Jason to come in and just really kind of be that leader of the defense, kind of like it is, the quarterback of the defense, barking the calls, trying to make sure that everyone is where they need to be.
He's going to instantly be in the Elandon Roberts role.
Right.
For those who don't know, Elandon Roberts came here and instantly he was the team captain. And I expect the same thing for Jason McCourty. It's there's certain guys that just have this leadership coach presence to them, and definitely I think Flo, if he's going to add an older player, it's going to be a player in that mold. And that to me is why it makes sense. Now, would I have done Malik Hawker over him? Absolutely, no question about it. But I don't know what condition Malik is in after the Achilles injury, and I also don't know what his salary demands were. Or maybe it just wasn't the right fit, because I don't think every player can play for Brian Flores.
Do you think they officially moved on for potentially getting Malik?
I think it's a little too early to tell. Maybe he was just not where he needed to be in the rehab process. And what Dolphin fans don't realize is right before training camp opens, what they do is they spend veteran camp and OTAs and training camp seeing what they have, seeing how much the rookies and the young players will contribute, and then they look at their needs, and then the week before training camp happens, they address what their needs are. That's how we got to the Adam Shaheen trade and the signing of like 4 wide receivers last year, the week before camp started and the week of camp. And I'm pretty sure they'll do the same thing. They'll assess what they have, they'll assess what they need. And I'm sure Malik Hawker and his agent will probably, if they have another offer, they'll probably tell Dolphins, hey, we're having another offer. We're serious. If you want to have an opportunity to counter, this is your time. But, we need to know.
What are you expecting out of Noah here? Like kind of one of these last things, just because I guess now I feel like, is it put up or shut up for Noah, considering that he was a first-round pick last year?
No, he's under contract for another 3 seasons. I don't think there's any rush. I'm pretty much sure this will probably be Xavier Howard's last year in Miami, so you're going to have to groom his replacement. So that's a situation where, Byron Jones, he's guaranteed for another 2 seasons because that's what his contract says. He's overpaid now, but he'll be here for another 2 seasons unless they find a trade partner. And Xavier is probably going to try to force his way out of here just from the contract situation. So you got to get a young guy ready and prepared, and Noah will be that young guy. People also have to factor in, I've been covering the Dolphins since 2007, and there has never been a season where the Dolphins didn't need 6 cornerbacks to make it through the season. That's just a position that you're going to need a ton of bodies because they run so much, guys get injured. Noah's the 3rd cornerback right now. If something happens to one of the boundary guys, which it always happens to one of the boundary guys. Byron missed the first portion of the season. Xavier has played, 2 healthy seasons in his 5-year career.
Yeah.
So you're gonna need him. You're absolutely without a question gonna need him. I just think they've realized he's not a nickel. They've got a number of guys that can address that nickel spot, from Nick Needham to Justin Coleman to Javon Holland to Jason McCourty. So he's just the number 3 boundary guy, and that's cool. Now he's under contract, and he'll get an opportunity to play probably after this season. And, and you'll see what he does for the 2 seasons after that, and then you'll have a 5th-year option. But if he's not the stud that you thought he was, oh well, keep it moving.
All right, Omar.
Look how many times the Dolphins have kept it moving with early draft picks. Michael Dieter, they replaced him a year later. Drafted another tackle who can replace Kinley or Hunt. They don't really care. They just want productivity.
Right. Well, Omar, great stuff as always, man. Thank you so much for coming on. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
All right. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later. Again, that's Omar Kelly, a part of our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report on the home for Dolphins fans worldwide, OnsideRadio.com.
This has been the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Omar Kelly. From additions to home remodeling, call Eric at 305-433-4843. Count on a company that's an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. EJDconstruction.com.
When you're looking for curtains and blinds to create a space of your own, look no further than Bandalux. Bandalux can tailor your space to your needs. Create the atmosphere and ambiance you desire. We invite you to discover it at Bandalux.com. Explore our new solar control systems, range of sustainable fabrics, and energy-efficient solutions that can improve your well-being and quality of life. Witness Bandalux Beauty. Go to Bandalux.com or follow them on Instagram at Bandalux_official. For a personal experience, A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise is an official Bandalux partner.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. Inter Miami CF fans, join us at our new home this season for all away games as we broadcast live at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company, 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. Join Big O and Alex Dono for the live pregame, halftime, and postgame shows while we watch the games. Enjoy meticulously brewed beer on site, delicious artisanal pizzas, live music, and giveaways. So, the new home for all Inter Miami road games is at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at the Pompano City Mall, where they'll feature all the Inter Miami games. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and Facebook and Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing, and visit them at dangerousmindsbrewing.com. There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. Take their famous Boot Tour Challenge, and there's now outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant, or call them for reservations or pickup at 954-785-7565. So get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach to Zagat-rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant.
Now that it's springtime, it's only getting hotter here in South Florida. Make sure your AC in your home or business is running smoothly by investing in a preventative maintenance plan from M&S Air Conditioning. And M&S is a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite contractor. When you purchase a new Mitsubishi electric mini split system, you'll get a 12-year warranty. Or install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that captures and destroys biological contaminants to improve air quality. M&S Air Conditioning have been providing prompt, honest, and reliable service for over 30 years. Schedule service or call to get more info on our preventative maintenance plans. Call 954-421-3680 or visit ac-florida.com.
At OnsideRadio.com, we chirp all day and night. It's time to do some more chirping with David Dwork at our Chirping the Cats report.
The regular season may be over, but your Florida Panthers are far from finished. The Cats wrapped up their regular season schedule on Monday night when they took down the Tampa Bay Lightning by the score of 4-0. Goalie Chris Streeter made 30 saves while earning his third shutout of the season, and the Panthers got goals from Alex Wenberg, Mackenzie Weegar, Juho Lamiko, and Carter Verhaeghe, who was playing in his first game since early March. Florida now heads into the postseason riding a 6-game winning streak, with the last two coming against the Lightning by a combined score of 9-1. Now the Cats and Bolts will retreat to their home bases and prepare for their first-round playoff series. Thanks to their season-ending victories over Tampa, the Panthers earned home ice advantage in the postseason series, which means games 1 and 2 will be at the BB&T Center in Sunrise.
Keep up with the latest latest on the Florida Panthers by subscribing on most platforms by searching Onside Radio, your home for South Florida sports. Let's get back to Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
Rounding out the show in hour 2 here on this beautiful May 11th, 2021. Big O here in studio to Crosstalk.
Damn right.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, bro. Can't complain.
That's great.
9 days away from surgery, so we'll be fine.
It'll all be fine.
Oh, I'm not worried.
Oh yeah. Nah,
Not worried.
If anyone, and what I've learned about you as well since I've here is you're a hell of a fighter. So it doesn't even matter what's gonna come. So.
Well, it's life, bro. Life's going to kick your ass over and over again.
Yeah.
If you're going to sit in a corner and pout about it, then you're done, dude. You know what I mean? So you either get up and fight or succumb, and there's no way I give in. So it's just not my style.
Right.
Not my style.
Well, how you
I'm
feeling?
like Tim Tebow, bro. I don't give up. You know what I'm saying? I fight to the
Everyone
end.
hates him.
You can't hate Tim Tebow.
I feel like the people. There are people that hate him.
You can't.
I feel like they hate him because of how he's just.
They say
Tim
they
Tebow, man.
No, Kai. They say they hate him, but deep down inside, they have so much admiration for him.
Of course.
That he does everything the right way. That he's such a good dude. That it pisses them off that they can't be like him. And I will reiterate to all the folks out there. Most of us will never be at Tim Tebow's level. Okay. That's because the Lord is like somehow or another hovering above that dude.
In the
all
fourth
the
quarter,
time.
he turns into Jesus himself.
I don't know, man.
It's
If you were a pro player one day, you saw him score 3 touchdowns against the Dolphins, and you're like, what the hell is going on here?
I was at that game.
And it's just, he's powered by the Lord, bro. I mean, it's just some people are, What can you do? It's just... It
is what it
sucks,
is.
but it's just, you don't have that power. I don't have that. But Tim Tebow has it, bro. Okay.
So what do you have?
And I saw that Dono went and did his homework because he mentioned it to Omar and he didn't know. And I've mentioned it to other people. Go look at the damn YouTube and go see Tim Tebow stop a kid from having a seizure in the middle of a minor league game by just touching him. Okay?
There's also videos of him helping someone on a
nah,
plane.
and Donna goes, yeah, no, it's true, because it's true, bro. It's Tim Tebow.
He might just be God himself. Who knows? But what do you have coming up on the show today?
We no guest today. We're just going to talk because obviously it's a shorter show than normal. So I got plenty of things to talk about: Panthers, the Heat, the Dolphins, Tim Tebow, boxing, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury. I got all kinds of stuff. I didn't get into DK Metcalf yesterday. I want to get into a little bit of that. Benefer is back. Benefer is back, bro. You know what I'm saying? Round table, all of that. There's a lot of things to talk about right now. A-Rod must be pissed.
Yeah.
But somebody tell A-Rod that, Ben Affleck is the accountant. He'll take your ass out, bro. Okay? Did you see that movie, The Accountant?
Yes.
I like that movie, actually.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that movie. I'm actually a weirdo. I like Ben Affleck.
Yeah,
Because so many
that's
people
kind of
hate Ben. Talk about hate. Forget Tim Tebow. Ben Affleck is hated like crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Okay? I kind of like Ben Affleck, so.
Well, hope you have a great show. For everyone listening here, whether you're on YouTube or anywhere else, thank you so much. We will be back tomorrow morning when we will have our Royal Wednesday here, part of Kai's Corner. And as well, Austin Robillard should be joining in studio. We will see if that happens. Have a great rest of your day.
We'll be right back.